We are live for our last series episode of the Savor series. I'm Keshawn Hughes, and I'm joined by Natalie Jobity.
Hi, everyone. So glad to be here with Keshawn and you all.
Yes, yes. It's been such a, for me, reflective experience. I would say just really deep and fun experience. I've had so many different new awarenesses that have been enlivened within me. I really am thankful to you for this conversation series, Natalie, just for the idea and for the willingness to go there. And I'm so excited for everyone who is joining us today. Natalie, would you like to introduce yourself and share a bit about who you are?
Sure. I just want to add to that. And then if it's your first time tuning in, or if you're watching the replay, Keshawn and I just go with the flow. We don't have any big agenda with these. We kind of just have like 2, 3 points, and we literally are just vibing in these Savor series LinkedIn Live. So it's been a great journey, and we've had so many ahas, breakthroughs for ourselves and for all who are listening and hearing the replay. So I wanted to say that. My name is Natalie Jobity, and I am the Brilliance Unveiler, also known as the Transformational Leadership Coach for Women. I get so excited to help women identify and magnify their, I like to say the three S's, their secret sauce, sizzle, and superpowers. I'm a alliteration queen here. I'm also an author, so I like words. Yeah, and my passion is helping impact-minded women who have a vision for something that they know that they're meant to do, but perhaps maybe they haven't seen it come to fruition. For maybe there are things in the way of themselves, or real obstacles. But I like to help them remove the obstacles to their impact, unveil their brilliance. And that brilliance is all the things inside of you that make you you, the way you're designed, the way you are wired, the strengths you have, the skills you have, all the things that make you uniquely you, that we can unveil that, because all those things are the things that are cues and clues to your purpose. And when you are standing strongly in those things, you are unstoppable. You are the game changer. You are the trailblazer. So I gotta get here. I'm getting in my little
Listen,
now. It's your time to shine, or whatever. My book
appreciate
is called
it.
"It's Your Time to Shine, Girl."
Yes,
My copy's right here. But
yes.
the clarion cry in this book is about all of that for all women. But I work with women who actually have a bit of experience. Let's say a few decades of experience, so they're pretty seasoned. But they're meant to do something probably big, probably like scary. But I help them get over that hump, and I help them unveil their brilliance so they can have the impact. Yes.
So powerful. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. Thank you for describing who you are once again. Every time you do, I get excited. I can't contain it. My book is by my bedstand. I have been reading it slowly, taking it all in. My copy of Natalie's book, It's Your Time to Shine, Girl. It is a clarion call for leaders, for women who, yes, want to tap into their brilliance. It's there. It's there within all of us.
Yes.
And I'm so, once again, so excited to just partner with you in this. And I'm Keshawn Hughes. I'm a certified neuroscience-based coach and neuro leadership consultant. And I founded my company, Neurosavvy Leadership. And what I do, my mission is to help people feel healthier and happier at work through using proven neuroscience-based practices to help with retention, to help people feel, once again, healthier at work, to help them feel like they can be their best selves. And that's connected to who they are in their personal lives. I don't believe in compartmentalization in that way. You are who you are. And the better you are, the more in touch you are with yourself, the more that we can live in a world where we can have our brilliance unveiled and recognized, and we can experience life as it is meant for us to experience it, which is joyful. And I would say experiencing love in the truest essence of what that is, which
Woo!
the topic of where we are today, what we're here to talk about is savoring relationships. Savoring relationships. Natalie, I want to start by just talking about what savoring is. We discussed it in our very first
Mhm.
session together live about this. And I'd love to cap it
Yeah.
off with another description of what savoring is, as described in your book, as described by how you support people in doing that as a leadership coach.
Well, it's so interesting because I have to say that savoring is a very new thing for me, and it's kind of like coming louder and louder. I'm not sure where it's going, but so savoring, savoring the word, and the way I see that, the word, the meaning of it is we talked about relishing, we talked about lingering, we talked about enjoying, embodying. So they're all the things that, and most of the time when people think of savor, they think of food, cuisine.
Yes.
And that's true. You can savor food, enjoy food, but the same way you enjoy and linger and taste and pause with food, if you're really trying to savor it, is the same way we can savor other aspects of our life. And so this Savor series was birthed, and I'm not even sure how we came here, Keshawn, but here we are.
Here
I've
we
just
are.
Here we are, and I literally a podcast episode I did with Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith, the author of Sacred Rest, just came out last week, and
Mhm.
I literally picked choose savor, and we went deep into all of this. So I invite you all, if you want to go really deeper into the four elements of savoring, and we didn't, you, Keshawn, we didn't even talk about that here, in the series, but like that podcast episode, I think is number 188, but just look for the one. It was released last week. I choose to savor. I choose savoring. That
Yes.
has all that went so deep and so good. I am so proud of that
Mhm.
interview with her. And she, because she does so much with Sacred Rest, that's her book, and she's a board certified physician, so she got the concept so quickly. So it was a very, very cool and deep conversation on savoring. But yeah, I love that you went here, Keshawn, because I think when last 2 weeks ago we talked about savoring work, and we were like, that's an oxymoron, right? But
Yeah.
honestly, for me, savoring relationships is probably harder for me than savoring work.
Ah, yes. Well, relationships are work. That's one way to look at it. That's been my experience of it. And thank you for sharing that. You know what? As I contemplate that for myself, I would say that's been my experience too, my journey too. Definitely more work oriented, work focused. Work was a place where I knew I could shine. It was a place, well, you know what? When I think about just my early childhood development, education, we are educated to work. So that's
Yes.
something I'm more comfortable with, right?
Yes. Even though we talked about last time how work, we think about grinding and producing
Yes,
and all that, but there are aspects, because we are taught how to work,
we
and
are.
we're taught how to be employees,
Yes,
right? Those
yes,
things come more naturally, but we're not taught to be entrepreneurs. And we talked about that a little bit last time.
yes.
And we're not taught in terms of relationships how to really be present. So
Ooh,
yeah. So the word
come here.
presence make me want to, let's go back to square one, the
Mhm.
base, home base.
Yes.
Home base, and you and I know this, Keshawn, and we talked about it last time. We're going to bring it back to today.
Mhm.
Before we can have any true savoring, whether it's work, whether it's with people, we
Mm,
have to belong to ourselves.
yes.
So the core of savoring relationships has
Mm.
to come first with our relationship with ourselves and how strong that is, right?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. I feel, well, there are two things came to mind as I was listening to you talk, especially with the work tie. Um, One of my coaches that I've hired has, and it's been implanted in me since then to think about the connection between work and love. The frequencies are similar because they are connection to our sense of security, our sense of
Mm,
worthiness, our
mm-hmm.
sense of safety. And so once I knew that, I began to become very, I would say, intentional and more focused on the patterns that were showing up in both. And as I did my work as a leader in the job
Mm-hmm.
market, in corporate spaces, and now as an entrepreneur, I would see transformations also in my love life and vice versa.
Mm,
Because when we're talking about foundational aspects, when we're talking about self and love with the self, love for the self,
yeah.
ourselves as an identity, that foundation, those are key. Those are key. Just the connection between and the experience of our own worthiness, our own sense of worthiness, our own sense of value, our own, am I safe here? Am I safe to even show up and connect with myself, to be honest with myself about what myself is experiencing in this life? So
And
that's
to just be myself, to show up and
being
just fully be myself. And that's the thing. So we talked about it last time, but with work, a lot of times we kind of like compartmentalize who we show up as at work.
yes,
When it comes to relationships, I think there's a bigger, deeper point here about, if we don't feel safe enough or good enough in ourselves,
Yeah.
or good enough or safe enough with that person to show up fully as ourselves, then how can we savor that interaction at all, really? Because when you think of the moments with people, I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off the self trap, but let me just go
Yeah.
here. When we think about moments, the moments that we remember of with people interactions, whether it's a spouse, a child, a friend, a colleague, a significant other, whoever it is, the moments that we remember. I mean, for me, when I was thinking about it for this conversation, I'm like, it's the moments when I was fully able to be me.
Yeah.
And that's back to belonging to self. So when I am able to belong to myself, there's that part first. That's number one.
Yeah.
When I know who I am in Christ, because I'm a believer and I know who He made me fearlessly, wonderfully made, and I am a masterpiece and chosen and all loved and all those things. When I know that and believe that, and I know who I am, and I'm confident enough to show up as me in all the spaces and all the interactions, then I can truly be present to them. I can truly be whether as a coach in with my clients, relationship with my clients. If I can't show up fully for my clients, I can only go so far with them.
Yes, that's right.
So
That's
there's
right.
so much here in terms of how much we're able to be present as ourselves in our brilliance
Yes.
when it comes to savoring all the relationships in our lives.
Absolutely. So, relationship with self, relationship with our creator, our spiritual selves. I'm also a believer. My work as a neuroscience based coach is intentionally secular, it's intentionally scientific because I want to connect in that realm, with removing biases that can come up when people hear about
Yeah.
spirituality. But just know me as an identity all day, all day. My relationship with self, my relationship with God, and then my relationship with others. I do believe that the key to life is relationships. I just posted a study was done by Harvard about social fitness being
Mm.
the key to longevity, health, and
Mm.
enjoyment of life. Being socially fit. So,
Yes. What
and,
does
and
that mean? What does that mean?
that means having healthy relationships with others. And we started with self and
I
talked
don't,
about
so listen, how do you have a healthy relationship with others?
it does start with self.
Starts with
And then,
self.
and then how can you cannot remove, there is no relationship without you, right? When two or more come together, right? So whether I'm in a relationship as a group, as a pair, but essentially internally,
I
internally.
am there. I am there in those interactions. And if I am not healthy,
Yes. Can I relish? Can I relish? We talked about that word. Can I relish? Can I
can I
savor?
pause?
Can I
Can
pause?
I embody what is happening like if somebody, whatever, like read the cues, read the room, pay
Yes.
attention, listen. Sorry, go.
I was so read the cues. So much of my work as a neuroscience based coach is somatic. And
Yeah.
so as I'm working with my clients, I
Yeah.
am tapping in and asking them about connection in the body, in themselves. What do you feel as you have that interaction, as you desire to have that conversation, your goal? What sense is that bringing up in you? What's your sensory experience? Because we have been so disconnected. We can walk around as just heads, minds,
Yes.
completely disconnected from our bodies and others. So what I found also a key to savoring relationships and just thinking about the topic itself is connection. Connection
Absolutely.
with myself, connection with God, my spiritual self, and then connection with others. That's the trifecta for
That's
me.
the triangle. That's
Yes.
the foundational triangle. So it's funny because I love Brene Brown, and she's
Yes.
always saying this phrase: "We are hardwired for connection."
Yes.
What's that? The Bible also say man was not meant to live by
Alone.
himself, and
No.
there's a reason why God created Eve, because Adam could not be Adam by himself,
No.
because we need people, and without people, actually, imagine yourself going through life without interactions. How do you actually know who you are? How do you actually know if you're a kind person, a patient person, a
Mhm.
loving person, if you're
Tested.
not having an interaction with a human being?
Absolutely. The tests, right? And they can be small, they can be subtle, but we are tested through our relationships. And once
It,
again, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I know.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Relationships are like a mirror for
Absolutely.
who we are being, so that when we have a certain reaction from people, and back to when you're saying, Keshawn, that we're always, if we're healthy, we will get a healthier response from people. But if we're not, there'll be a pattern of, why are all my relationships having friction or being unhealthy?
Yes, the pattern.
What's the common denominator?
Yes,
I am the common denominator in that.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then it's a cue to have some self-examination, and like, what's happening with me that's making these relationships not go the way I intend.
Right. So, absolutely, 100% agree. So, what happens internally how do we know we're savoring a relationship? That's a question that I've had. How do I even know that I'm having a savor experience in a relationship? Before I answer that question, I want to say hello to Renee Cunningham.
Hi,
Anyone,
Renee.
as you're watching, if you have questions, please type them in the chat. As you have your own experiences with savoring relationships that you want to share, please do. We would love for this to be a dialogue between us all as we're talking about our experiences of savoring relationships, our clients' experiences, and then what we hope to gain through the insights we have in this conversation. So, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to pivot a little bit. It's not a hard pivot, it's a small pivot. But because you and I are coaches, one of the things they tell us in coach training is, to be, I know they kept saying this over and over again, how to be fully present with your client. I mean, that's something as a coach, if you can't bring your full presence, which means your full attention, your
Mhm,
full engagement with that client, you're
mhm.
going to miss stuff. And
Absolutely.
the whole role of a coach is to be able to catch those blocks, those blind spots,
That's right.
those things that the client might not be, to bring awareness to the client. And the only
Okay.
way you can bring awareness to the client is if you're fully present with them. And I love that we get to do Zoom now, because back in the
Yeah.
day it was phone calls. I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to do a phone call. I'm like, I want to be all up in the Zoom with the client, because I can
Yes.
see their expressions, and I can go, look, you looked a certain way. What does that mean? And then probe, and then be like, oh, how did I look? But then,
Yeah.
because we've noticed it, and we ask a probing question. So I want to bring it back to what we do. Part
Mhm.
of what makes us good as leadership and neuroscience coaches is because we've learned how to be fully present with our clients. We
Mhm.
could not have the kind of traction with our clients if we were unable to be fully present with our clients. Now, how are we able to be fully present?
Mhm.
Because we're bringing our healed, and everybody's on a healing journey. So I'm still on a healing journey, y'all. I ain't perfect. Keshawn's not perfect,
No.
but we've done our work. We've done a lot. I have done a lot of
Love
work:
it.
therapy, coaching,
Yes.
personal development, all the things. And so I
Mhm.
can bring all of that awareness and understanding of myself in my coaching container with my client,
Yeah.
and be that presence to help them get from where they are to where they need to be, whatever that dynamic looks like. And Keshawn, the same. So
Yes.
I want to bring it back to, sometimes our relationships could be our for us it's our clients,
Mhm.
where
Absolutely.
where the fact that, I know, back to your question, how do I savor?
How do we know we're savoring a relationship when we're in relationship? If it's a
Yeah,
client relationship, how do we know we're savoring in
you
those
know how I
moments
know
of
I'm
relationship?
savoring.
Yes.
That, I want to speak to Peter. It's a client connection right now,
Mm.
client and coach connection.
Yes.
I know I'm savoring in those relationships because of, I am there. I'm getting
Yes.
goosebumps. I'm feeling like I am literally right in front of that client, and I leave those conversations like, wow, like, I'm the coach, but I'm leaving like, wow,
Yes.
because I know something transformational happened, or I know they had a
Mm.
breakthrough, or I know they have whatever it is. I knew that I did my role. I did my purpose was
Your
on point.
purpose. Ooh.
Yes. So I know that I'm savoring those, because I look back on my clients and my engagements, and I feel a sense of fulfillment.
Oh, fulfillment. I love this. I love this. I love that you brought up purpose. I think that when we're savoring relationships, we are experiencing our purpose. And
Mm,
there is a thought leader, Anna Hall, that I'm connected to. She does great work on purpose work, finding your purpose.
mm,
And a key element of experiencing your purpose, finding it, is joy.
yes.
Knowing what fuels your joy. She calls it joy
Yeah.
fuel. I think she's trademarked the term. And so, purpose, joy, those are experiences that I'm having in body. Like those are feeling sensory experiences I'm having as I'm savoring a relationship. And it's so amazing. It's like
Oh,
it's
Anna Hall is right there. She's like,
yes. It's like I wanted to like savor that coming out. Like it is the best when I am in purpose, when I am joyful, when I'm having a positive uh feel good sensory experience, mind, body, spirit, connected. I would say those are the elements for me that allow me to know I'm savoring a relationship. My joy is fueled. I'm in purpose and I'm connected.
so that's awesome. And Anna Hall, yes, Anna Hall is here.
There she is. She's here. I mean, Anna, wherever I am, I try to drop your name. That was a name drop. I'm so happy to do it. Please check her out. So,
Yes, so
thank
awesome.
yes,
Joy
I
Fuel.
hope I explained it well, Anna. Please let me know if you have more to say about Joy Fuel and purpose work. Please share it in the comments. Please do and connect with her, everyone. She's awesome. Amazing. Amazing.
I just want to add to that. I love that you broke down those. Here are the three things that makes me know I'm savoring. So
Mm.
I agree. For me, one of them absolutely has to be joy. And
Yeah.
I would say joy and fulfillment to me are very are cousins or if not sisters. To me, fulfillment is a type of joy. So
Mm.
the fulfillment I get from my work to me is how I think of as the joy in what I'm doing in my purpose. But I
Yeah.
also think of just plain old fun joy as I just had an experience with someone recently where we spent 6 hours and I was fully myself. I don't know, because I felt safe with that person. I was fully myself. And I was just like the kid in me came out. And there was
Oh.
so much joy. Like I was doing all these things that I would normally be like, oh, Natalie be like, don't do that. People will think this. I didn't have any of those thoughts. I was singing out loud in public, which I love
Mhm.
to sing, but
I love
I
that.
don't just sing out loud in public. I'm not a singer. And I was doing that. We played ping pong. We had ice cream. And it was just like, I was like, I will never forget those 6 hours because there was so much joy. There was so much presence. I feel for me, one of
Okay.
the
Joy
cues is
presence. Yeah.
I know I'm fully able to show up as me fully and be fully present. That's definitely a cue that I'm savoring.
Yes.
Even the food we had, I was like, literally didn't talk while we were eating because I was like enjoying my Thai food. I'm like, this is yummy. So I was savoring the food. So all of it, the ice cream. And I would say that what would be the third thing? The third thing would be so back to the embodiment piece. If
Yeah.
I'm able to remember, like, so I know I've savored an experience when I can look back and say, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what I remember, not what I did. I remember what I felt.
Maya Angelou quote. You know that
Yes,
I
I actually
use
look
my
up there.
yes. I'm paraphrasing. She said, "You might not remember what people said, but you will always remember how they made
They
you feel."
make you feel. So,
Yes.
so even for our own selves, how we remember how we felt in an experience is
Yes.
a cue that we've savored that.
Yes.
Maya Angelou is the wisdom guru of
Ooh,
all wisdom gurus, right?
chills. I'm so glad
She's
to speak her name. Thank
I know,
you.
I love. May you rest in peace, Maya.
Yes.
But those words are been repeated over and over and quoted over again because they're
Mhm.
so profound because it
They
speaks
are.
to relationships and what do we want people to remember from our interaction with them? How do we make them feel?
Absolutely. 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 It's embodied, it's sensory, it's feelings oriented, and goes back to the self. To savor relationships, be connected with yourself, be embodied in that way to where you can tap into those kinds of sensory experiences. There's so many wonderful neurochemicals that are being released during that time. Oxytocin is one of them. That is the one that helps us bond, that helps us feel connected. And it is foundational to trust as well. So when we feel like we can trust ourselves and trust another, oxytocin is released. And it's a biochemical experience we're having as we're savoring relationships, as we're experiencing trust to be our authentic selves in relationships as well. Um, Go ahead. I see your
No, I'm just seeing
yes,
Laura here
yes.
said,
Hi, Laura.
yeah, hi. Thank you so much for your kind words. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, and I just want to go back to, I know we almost at time. I can't even believe
Oh
it. I think we're
wow.
just getting started. But like, I want to go back to this, the idea of safety, because I think it's important
Oh, safety. Hmm.
because you brought it up from the scarf model
Yes.
last series session, but
Mhm.
it matters here because we have to use our wisdom and our inner voice and guidance to know how to show up fully when we are safe in that interaction with that person. Not everybody has done the work on themselves that they need to. So we have to use our inner guidance and our wisdom to know there are some people who I can't completely be fully present to because they're not healthy. And I need to have boundaries around myself with them. So the safety component, I think relationships here, Keshawn, is huge because in order to savor our relationship, I think a foundational truth is we have to feel safe
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's key. That's key in ourselves,
in
right?
ourselves and
Yes.
with that person and in the
And the other
environment.
person.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So key. I also wanted to share. There's so many things, ideas that are sparking in me, and I'm like holding myself now because my arms and hands are flailing. It's like every time you say something, I had to literally cross my legs and be like,
I
contain
know.
yourself because there's so many things I want to say. Oh gosh, but another neuroscience clue. It's some language that I use to help people remember um, our states of being when we can access savoring, particularly in relationships. One, you said you felt playful or you were having fun. That experience
Fun.
described
Yeah.
fun. So stay and play. I
Yeah.
want to stay and play. So, like my body is comfortable here, staying and playing. That's some. It's related to neurochemical, biochemical responses that are happening in me. I feel safe. I feel trust. I feel joy. I can stay and play in this. I can stay. I can stay for hours and hours.
And I
And
think something about play because this is I love. Oh my God, Keshawn, this is what you and I. This is what Chi and I
yes,
do, y'all. This is what
yes,
we do. This is why we
everything
doing this
together.
because we just vibe off each other. When you say stay and play, it makes me
Yes.
think of the archetype of the child and
Hmm.
what be like. So I want to put it another way. If you don't get what staying in
Please.
play means, I will say stay in the embodiment of who you were as a child in terms of
Absolutely.
what is a child. A child is curious. A child is free. A child is life is like exciting because
Yes.
everything's like wow, they are in
Absolutely.
that mind of anything's possible, they're creative, and so
Mhm.
that all those attributes of a childlike mind allow us as adults to be playful, to be
Oh,
inventive, to
oh
be
my gosh.
curious, to
Oh,
be like to just like let ourselves be free and not bounded
free.
by the
Be bold.
narratives and the armor and all the things that we learn to do as grown-ups.
Speechless. 100% agree. You are tapping into so many key values that I have. Well, when you mention childlikeness, I think of our inner child. And
Yeah,
those needs that are met. I am not a therapist. I do not know how to therapy. I have one, but I don't know. But
exactly.
meeting those needs is key. I know that. Like when we have the needs of our inner child met,
Yes.
because our inner child is always with us throughout life. It never goes away. It's a part of who we are. And so
Yeah.
when those needs are met, or when those needs feel safe, we feel safe to be those things. For me, when you said adventure, I think you said that. So I'm like, adventure is key to me. I feel like I treat life as a great adventure. I'm a risk taker. Freedom is very essential to me.
Yes.
And
Freedom.
so those are all related to, I feel like, that inner child me.
Yes.
When I'm savoring in relationships, I'm exploring, I'm having it, I'm laughing a lot.
Yes, and I'm just so
Yes.
totally agree with everything you're saying too. Like, so I think my takeaway today, because I didn't hadn't thought about it this deeply before, y'all.
Yeah.
I know I'm savoring when I'm in my childlike self, and I'm so it's all the things the freedom, the
Yes.
curiosity, the creativity, the playfulness,
Oh,
the
baby.
being fully me, not armored up. All those being able to be vulnerable, but in a safe space. All those attributes when I am, that's how I was in that experience. And I remember thinking, this is how I want to be more.
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking, this is, I like back to inner child. My inner child she was like, oh my gosh, she was having a ball. So
Yes.
it's like when our inner child is able to be happy like that, and again,
Mhm.
we're not therapists, but I've done a lot. So I know my inner
Yes.
child needs to be fun. When she's fun, I am fun and I feel fun as an adult. So it's like,
Yes.
it's all
Yes.
good. But yeah, like
Mhm.
I think my takeaway, and I want you to share your takeaway. My takeaway from this conversation is that I can most savor in my interactions with people when my inner child can play.
Oh, wow. That is so beautiful, Natalie. Oh my gosh. What's my biggest takeaway? Well, it's a word that was coming to me, endures.
Endure.
Savoring, it endures. Savoring relationship is something that endures.
Yes.
It's when I think about just the lengthening out of our moments together, the remembering so that I can be in that space again. It's allowing the experience of that childlike nature, the fun, the joyfulness to just endure, to
Yes,
last.
yes,
So I
I
believe,
love that.
like, I want those moments to last. When you said I want to do it more, yes, it's a toward response. In
Yes.
neuroscience, we either have away or toward responses. Our bodies will give us cues, and sometimes we can go into relationships and we're not reading those cues. Like you said, we're not reading the room externally, but we're not reading
Mhm.
our inner cues. But am I leaning forward? Do I want
Yeah,
more of that? That is a
yeah,
toward response. So that is key also, I believe, in being
I
able
love
to savor
that.
relationships. And this, once again, goes across relationship categories. Am I moving towards my work, right? Am I moving towards my family as a parent, as a sister, as a child, whatever that is? Do I
As a
want to move
friend,
forward?
yes.
And then friendships, so key, so key. And absolutely. So I think that's my takeaway, is that savoring relationships is something that I want to endure. I want to, that's another way to put it. I want to endure it.
You want it to be enduring. You want it
Yes,
to be enduring.
I want to be enduring.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow, that's oh gosh. As usual, we could say so much more. I mean, this wow, we never know where the conversations will
No.
go, but they always go somewhere so profound for both of us. We both like we have to take notes now.
Yes, I have a whole page full today. I can't wait to share them in my after notes. But thank you all so much for joining. Are there any takeaways that anyone in the chat here with us wants to share about your experience of savoring relationships, what you've heard from us today? Please do that before we wrap up. This has been a wonderful series, Natalie. I thank you for your wisdom, for your willingness, for you even dropping the knowledge in your new book to even open up the opportunity for us to just go deep in this way about savoring as human beings.
As human
Um,
beings.
as
But
human beings.
I think I can't even take too much credit because I feel like it's where God is. I don't know how we do it. I don't think I'm
Oh,
like,
even better.
why am I the savor queen? That's what I think. I have no
We
idea.
need it right now. We
But
need it right now.
something is happening and something is leaning me towards that, maybe because I need it more, I to do it more, perhaps that's how God talks to me a lot. So,
Mhm.
but I want to say thank you for being willing to join me on this ride.
Okay, absolutely. I can do this. This is play 3. So yes,
the
this is
last
yes.
the
I
last
can
session,
do
Sean and I shared that was so much fun. Is this work? Are we working?
like, it absolutely is work, Natalie. When we do our after, like when we're like doing our retro analysis of the time we spend, like, yes, it is, and this is why. So this is work for us. Thank you. I think Laura Kriska mentioned this, and she's a part of my community so much as a consultant. She says you both are a great example of the joy we can bring to our work and life. That is everything. Thank you. I just
Thank
want to be
you.
an example to allow me to be a vessel for this, to be a
Yes.
mouthpiece. Like you said, we do not prepare very much. We have our topic, but we come here just being trusting that what needs to come through will come through, just sharing vulnerably and openly, and then inviting people to share in that with us. It's the best gift. It's the best gift. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Please continue to follow our journeys. Follow us on our platforms on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll be posting these videos there. And we have more in store. We have to decide exactly how we want to continue
Yes.
connecting in this way with you all, but it absolutely will happen. It will.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to whatever comes up for us. It's gonna be another topic, but
Yes.
Keshawn and I both understand that we have been gifted with certain wisdom, and that when we're together, the wisdom becomes something that she and I alone would not even be able
No. No,
to
it's so
come
much
up with.
greater.
Yeah,
It has legs. I'm
it
like,
has legs. It has
yes.
legs.
Go fly and wings. Fly away.
Yes, yes. Fly to bless the world with your gems and your mic drops and all of it.
So good.
Thank
I'm
you
sweating
so
now. Thank you
much.
all so much. This is so good. Thank you all so much for joining, and we'll see you all again soon.
Bye.
Bye.